you guys remember those really old cookbooks your mom would bring down from the hall closet or some other cabinet that she stored it in that maybe she got from her mom, and it would have that one tried and true recipe in it? Well, that's what we're going to make today. We're going to make a recipe out of a very old Betty Crocker cookbook called Company Cheesecake. Essentially what it is it's like a New York cheesecake, but it has a hint of lemon flavor to it. This is a recipe that's really good to make when you're off to a quick gathering and you need something easy to put together to bring that looks like you spent all day on it, but is light, refreshing, and tastes delicious. So this is not one that's going to stick to your hips, make your gut feel full afterwards. This is one that's nice and light and ready to go. So let's get started. So the first thing you're going to want to do is preheat your oven to 350 degrees, and that's where your oven's going to start at for the course of this cheesecake. The very first thing that we'll need to do once we preheated our oven is to work on what's called a graham cracker crust. Today I'll be using a springform pan, and what that means is it's a pan that's got a little spring to it, and you can see when you pop it, the bottom comes out. And so that's that the ring will let go from the side of the cheesecake, and then you can just serve it and it looks beautiful right on this tin. If you don't have a springform pan, that's okay. You can use a pie plate, you can use a cake pan. Just know that you'll have to cut it from out of the pie dish or the cake dish or whatever you bake it in. But today I'll be using a springform pan. Now I'm going to be doing the graham cracker crust in my food processor. If you don't have a food processor, that's also okay. This is a good time where you can get the kids involved with your graham crackers. And instead of taking your graham crackers out of the package and putting them in your food processor, just take them out and put them in a Ziploc bag and let your kids smash and pound them until you have all of your graham cracker crumbs. And then you can add your melted butter to that bag. But for this recipe, I'm going to use the food processor. I'm going to put my graham crackers in, and then I'm going to add to that my 3 tablespoons of melted butter. Now, once everything has come together, either in your food processor or your Ziploc bag, it's going to look like the consistency of wet sand. And that's exactly what you want. It looks like and moves like wet sand. You're going to take this mixture and pour it straight into your springform pan. Use a spatula to scrape out anything that stuck at the bottom. And you're going to press it into the bottom of the pan so that it covers the whole entire surface. It'll look like that in the bottom of your pan. Okay? Now this is going to go into your oven and it's going to bake for 10 minutes until it starts to look a little bit golden brown. A little longer, a little less, depending on your cook time. Just keep an eye on it. Once it's had a chance to bake, you'll pull it out of the oven and let it cool completely. Now, while your graham cracker crust is baking, it's a good idea to go ahead and switch gears and get set up for making the filling of the cheesecake. So you can see I have replaced out my food processor for my stand mixer. You could use a hand mixer or your own elbow grease if you'd like. And then I've got the remainder of my ingredients, my eggs, I've got my lemon with a zester so that I can zest right into the mix. I've got my sugar and my vanilla. So when you pull your crust out of the oven, you're going to want to reduce the heat to 300 degrees. Now while my crust is cooling, I'm going to go ahead and get started mixing all of the inside ingredients for the cheesecake. So to my bowl, I've added the 2 full 8-ounce sticks of cream cheese plus another 3 ounces of cream cheese. I'm going to go ahead and whip that up until it's light and fluffy. To this, I'm going to add 1 cup of sugar. Next, I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. And I'm going to zest in 2 teaspoons of lemon rind. Two teaspoons is typically the equivalent of the rind of 1 good-sized lemon. Next, I'm going to add 3 whole eggs. Now, we have farm fresh eggs, so I always like to crack them into a separate container, just to check, to make sure they're what I was expecting. And you're going to add these in one at a time. Go ahead and beat until it's incorporated. You may need to scrape down the sides of your bowl a few times until everything's all mixed in. Go ahead and add your incorporated mixture to your cooled graham cracker crust. Give your cheesecake a shake and a couple of taps on the countertop to get out any air bubbles. Next, place your cheesecake into your 300-degree oven for 1 hour. I hope you all have enjoyed learning how to make company cheesecake, which is essentially a lemon cheesecake. If you learned something, if you made it yourself and you enjoyed it, place the comments down below. Hit the like button or subscribe. Till next time.